Welcome to Water Online Radio's coverage from ACE, broadcasting live from Chicago, Illinois. ACE16, uniting the world of water. Water Online Radio is brought to you by wateronline.com, showcasing today's water industry leaders and innovators. And now, here's your host, Todd Schnick.
All right, welcome to Water Online Radio's 5th year of coverage from ACE, the American Water Works Association's annual conference and exposition. I'm your host, Todd Schnick, joined by my friend and colleague, Bill King. This is an important day for me, Bill. I have been longing to do interviews with you for a long, long time. I'm so excited to finally have you in the house.
I'm glad to be here, Todd, and it's a wonderful day here in Chicago. I don't think we've ever started off on a warmer day.
I don't think we ever have. Now that I'm a resident of this fine city, I moved up here to escape the heat.
Yeah.
And it's chased me as you know, that's typical. So 5th year at ACE. How exciting to kick off our 5th year.
I know. Very excited to be here. And starting off with some great Water Online Radio alumni here.
These guys are in the Water Online Radio Hall of Fame, Bill. So it's always good to see these gentlemen. Always do enjoy our conversation. We're joined by Maury Gaston. He's the manager of marketing services for American Ductile Iron Pipe and American SpiralWeld Pipe. Maury, my friend, welcome back.
Thank you, Todd. It's a pleasure to be here again and see you in Chicago.
It's always good to see you, my friend. We're also joined by Derek Scott, marketing and technical manager with American Flow Control. Derek, good to see you again as well.
Well, it's great to be here, Todd. We look forward to this event at both this conference and the WEFTEC conference.
We always enjoy our conversations with you. Derek, let's start with you real quick. Give us a quick overview of American Flow Control and a day in the life of Derek Scott.
Well, American Flow Control is a division of American Cast Iron Pipe Company. We're located in Birmingham, Alabama. We make essentially control products, flow control products, valves, hydrants. We make gate valves up to 66 inch in diameter. We make check valves. We make tapping valves for hot taps. We make tapping sleeves, post indicators. You name it, we're kind of in that business. And we got some exciting things to talk to you about today that we've got coming down the pipeline.
All right. Well, looking forward to that. Maury, I think this is your 50th appearance on this show, I think. So our audience is obviously familiar with you. But kindly remind them a bit about what you do with American Ductile Iron Pipe and American SpiralWeld Pipe.
Well, I've been with the company 34 years, worked in a number of district sales offices across the country, and in my current role in marketing, I support the sales force. I work on some technical committees with trade associations like AWWA. We work on our website, work on product development, get the message out about American Ductile Iron Pipe, American SpiralWeld Pipe, how we're uniquely positioned to serve the water industry with dependable and safe products.
Outstanding. Well, lead us off. I'm curious to know, Bill and I are curious to know what's in the innovation pipeline at American.
Sure. Thank you, Todd and Bill. We've got a number of products. Although it's a mature industry, we're always moving forward. American has been a pioneer in innovation, serving the waterworks industry. Most recently, we've applied zinc coating to the exterior of ductile iron pipe. This is a metallized arc spray that bonds with the annealing scale on ductile iron pipe to extend the life of an already long-lasting product. And it's sealed on top with a top coat to further ensure its stability and long-lasting performance. It's been widely accepted in the marketplace and will soon become the standard for transmission size diameter ductile iron pipe. In addition to that, we've got a revolutionary product to address seismic risk in waterworks systems. It includes both Derek's gate valve and hydrant products as well as ductile iron pipe. This earthquake joint system expands or contracts 2.4 inches either direction for a range of 4.8 inches. It has 8 degrees of flexibility in the joint assembly, so it's a very strong and robust product for these dangerous seismic areas.
All right, Derek, understand that American Flow Control, or is known in the industry as AFC, was involved in the development of a new app that helps utilities manage their assets. Walk us through what that's all about.
Sure, Todd. It just dawned on me I didn't fully complete your last question, but I too, like Maury, am involved in marketing as well as product development on two hats there, if you will. We're extremely excited this year. We've worked with Trimble Water to introduce a free web-based mobile application called AFC Mapper. Trimble, who really did a lot of the heavy lifting in this, worked to take their Unity software platform, worked with Esri GIS technologies and our 2D barcodes that we put on all of our valves and hydrants, and kind of bring everything together, if you will. The really neat part of this is that you can now use your smartphone or a tablet in an iOS or an Android application. And in simple terms, it brings a BYOD, if you will, bring your own device aspect to this technology. And it's something that really has needed to happen for some time. It really improves a lot of the field operation efficiencies, allows them to locate and manage assets better, and of course the mapping function is kind of an inherent part of that.
Derek, I have a question for you. So we hear a lot about bringing your own device to work. How are you guys training and getting acceptance of this new app there from the operators and the maintenance staff?
Well, we're in the infant stages of this, but we're working with Trimble. We have a lot of pre-existing relationships in the industry. Our product line is well known, the iconic hydrant, American Darling, and the Watrous Pacer hydrant, which is every bit as well known. We've got a lot of relationships in the industry. A lot of folks know those names. So what we're doing is working with Trimble to connect those dots, if you will. And this is really a great opportunity for us. They can use this app to identify thread specs, depth of bury on a hydrant, size, in configuration, number of turns, direction to open on a valve. All this information is easily accessed just by scanning that barcode, and then the information is seamlessly uploaded into some existing digital forms, if you will. And in addition to that, you can add other information like photos, GPS location, maintenance records, flow data, all of this stuff that you've had to kind of rely on either being in someone's head previously, and that person may retire, by the way, or in a tablet somewhere or a file somewhere that may get lost. And then, of course, you've got a situation like a weather event like Hurricane Katrina that came in and changed the whole platform that everybody would look and know where their valves and hydrants are. That landscape was changed forever down there. And this information allows them to kind of go back and pick up, where they left off, literally. Everybody's kind of heard the phrase, there's an app for that. And we think that in this particular case, for valves and hydrants is certainly a time for that as well. Now, the real strong aspect is we're not reinventing the wheel here. You've got two well-known corporations with American and with Trimble. And folks are really kind of going to be able to work with companies that they're already familiar with.
Well, they say a picture is worth 1,000 words, so that idea of being able to take a photograph, especially if the assets get moved around in a hurricane or an event like that, and be able to look back and see exactly how that should be configured, seems invaluable. How would somebody get hold of the AFC Mapper?
Well, it's very easy. A great question. They can just go to www.trimblewater.com/AFC-mapper.html to register. Depending on their operating system, the app is readily available at respective online app stores.
Outstanding. Well, Maury, if I know you, and especially if I know American, there's probably more innovation that we should talk about. Anything else you can share with us?
Well, we've got a couple of more products that are worthy of mention in the innovation pipeline. One is the Amarillo FastGrip gasket. We took our very popular restrained joint, push-on joint gasket that was black in color like the non-restrained fast-tight gasket, and we made it yellow. We worked with our gasket manufacturing company to develop a means of providing colored SBR gaskets, and the result was the Amarillo gasket with a popular American yellow color to distinguish it from the black restrained gasket as well. And that's been very popular in the field, easily recognized, so that you know you're getting the right gasket at the right location. In addition to that, we've got the V-Bio enhanced polyethylene encasement, which is an innovation beyond the traditional polyethylene encasement, which has proven for the last 60 years to be very effective in arresting corrosion. And the V-Bio fuses modern technology with proven performance in the enhanced polyethylene encasement.
Got it. All right. I think when we spoke last, you shared a plan that you envisioned for trans-basin pipelines to address these water imbalances. How's that coming along?
Well, thank you, Todd, for mentioning that. It is an idea. It's not a product. It's not a project yet. It's not a specification. It's an idea to provoke some thinking in the water industry. We've got all the water we've ever had, and we've got all the water we ever will have. And if we move the water from where we have it in abundance to where we need it badly, we can solve the nation's water shortages and imbalances. And the American Society of Civil Engineers recognized that as an innovative thinking award, and it is being presented tomorrow in Philadelphia. I wish I could be there for it, but we've got to stand in my place to present, and we're very excited about that.
Oh, I bet.
Maury, I think it's a fantastic idea. I imagine that the biggest pushback against it is going to be the so-called expense of it, right? This is a really expansive idea, very different way of thinking about water scarcity. How do you combat those concerns?
Well, there are a number of objections to a plan of that magnitude, and I addressed each of those objections in the paper and how you would respond to those objections. Cost leads the way, but there is so much water that just a little bit of additional fee per gallon could fund a project like that. And I recommended public-private partnerships as the funding model because, let's face it, municipal tax coffers are stretched already, and those who benefit from the water should pay for the water. And you're right, it is expensive. Water's heavy. It takes a lot of energy to move it. It takes a lot to build the pipelines to convey it. But we built interstate highways. We built the Transcontinental Railroad. We've built interstate electrical transmission networks. And water is no less valuable than those things. It just costs less.
Yeah, it comes down to the value of water again, right? It's getting our joint understanding of just how important water is and the value of it.
Another major objection, which frankly may be more difficult than the funding objection, is sharing water. People are fundamentally greedy about their water supply. And those who have it don't want to give it up. They may need to be incentivized by allowing some revenue to benefit from it.
How do people that are interested in this concept learn a little bit more about it?
Well, I'd be happy to speak to their group and present the idea to them. It's also available on our website through our news page, and I'd be happy to respond to any inquiries about it.
Outstanding. Derek, we were talking about asset management. I understand that American has a unique hydrant security system that we talked about before. What was that product called, and how's it working?
Well, we actually have two different products. One is a hydrant security check valve, and the focus there is to prevent something from being pumped back into the water system through the hydrant. The other product, and I think probably the one that we're most excited about here, is called the Captivator, and it's a locking nozzle cap system made both for the hose nozzles and a traditional pumper nozzle. This product is available only from American. It's garnered a lot of attention from a lot of municipalities as well as some military installations such as Fort Bragg, North Carolina, and Fort Bliss, Texas, to name but a couple. It's unique in that not only does it do what the check valve does in preventing water from being pumped back into the water system, also prevents water theft, which is pretty important with conservation efforts as well as folks in rural areas that always can't keep an eye on those assets.
You also mentioned previously that you've developed an earthquake joint for valves and hydrants. How's that gone?
Well, that's correct. As Maury had mentioned earlier, we worked with their division. They took the lead in developing the earthquake joint system, if you will. We took that application and put it on the base of a fire hydrant. And essentially what happens there is you get 3 degrees of deflection within that joint. You get some longitudinal extension of plus or minus 2.4 inches. There's a pull-out resistance of over 100,000 pounds of thrust. And then we put an isolation gate valve in front of it that has 5 degrees of deflection on either end. So you've got a total of 13 degrees in that hydrant lead. We're getting a lot of attention with it. I think the one thing that a lot of folks kind of associate with this is it's a West Coast deal. There's a lot of seismic activity throughout this country, not just on the West Coast.
Are you seeing seismic activity increase over time, or has it always been there and it's just you're able to now introduce products that actually address the seismic activity that's kind of like always been there across the states?
I think there's a couple of things. I think folks are more sensitive to it. I think there's more technology there to identify it. I think we've got other technologies that cross over a little bit with fracking and so forth that changes the landscape there, if you will. And so, yes, I think it's more recognizable in general.
Well, Bill, now that I live in a high-rise, I'm very sensitive to seismic activity. So.
I'm sure you are.
Maury, closing here, ACE is not the only show, I think, that American exhibits at. What else do you participate in, and how do they differ from this event?
Well, ACE brings the entire water industry together. The WEFTEC show, where I have spoken with you in the past, brings the wastewater industry together. And then the ASCE, American Society of Civil Engineers Pipelines Conference, is a specialized technical conference involving mostly consulting engineers and municipal owners, dealing more so with large diameter pipeline work compared to the distribution size pipeline work. That annual conference this year will be in Kansas City in July, and American's got a very strong lineup of technical presentations. Derek and I are presenting a paper on energy efficiency through material selection, showing how resilient wedge gate valves are more energy efficient than butterfly valves, and how ductile iron pipe is more energy efficient than plastic pipe or steel pipe or concrete pipe. In addition to that, Ryan Ratcliffe, our American Flow Control West Coast manager, and I are going to present on the earthquake joint system. I've got a paper on zinc-coated ductile iron pipe. We've got a presentation on horizontal directional drilling in Louisiana. We've got a DIPRA-sponsored life cycle cost analysis paper that the University of Michigan Engineering School is presenting. And finally, one of our associates is presenting on the Panama Canal expansion, where American furnished products for that expansion. And if I recall, I read a headline this morning that the expanded Panama Canal opens today.
How about that? Fascinating stuff. Maury, before I let you go, how can people contact you should they have any questions?
The website is www.american-usa.com. My email address is mgaston@american-usa.com.
And Derek, how can people find you and learn more?
Well, the same website, and also email address dscott@american-usa.com. We've got a lot of information there on our American News Center about a lot of the things that we talked about today. And also you can follow us on Twitter at news@American.
All right. Derek Scott, the Marketing and Technical Manager with American Flow Control, and Maury Gaston, the Manager of Marketing Services for American Ductile Iron Pipe and American SpiralWeld Pipe. Gentlemen, as always, good to see you. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you, Tom.
Great. Thanks for having us.
All right. That's all the time we have for now. Check out some additional conversations from ACE at wateronlineradio.com. All right. Todd Schnick and Bill King signing off for now, but Water Online Radio will be right back.